Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Today we have one of the icons in the Waukegan area, Mr. Jeffery McBride. He's the founder of the Southside Positive Youth. He's a current trustee, Waukegan Township, and he previously was a member of the Waukegan School Board of Education for 8 years, and he was the president of the school board at one time, right? Not a president, okay, I elevated him too much, but he was on the school board for 8 years. So good evening, Mr. McBride.
How are you doing, Mr. Brooks?
We're very happy that you've taken time from your busy schedule to be with us on Community Forum. I'd like to mention another very important affiliation that you have is that church affiliation with Pastor Atwater.
That's correct.
Right, of the
North Shore Church of Christ.
North Shore Church of Christ there on the south side. So you've been very active there. But I want you to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal professional background.
Well, from an educational standpoint, I went to Waukegan High School. I was a graduate from Waukegan High School.
Okay.
The journey that I decided to take was to be an advocate for children.
Okay.
Started my own youth group called Southside Positive Youth. And the journey actually started in Chicago at a Hull House. I was working with homeless and those that were just less fortunate, so to speak. Then I worked my way into Lake County. I wound up working down at Great Lakes at Four Star Village at their youth center.
Okay.
And I helped them to put a lot of programs together. And then from there, I worked my way down farther into the Quad Cities, stopping at North Chicago. I worked with one of the directors, which is no longer around, Tony Franklin.
Yes.
And I worked there, then worked with him with children, and I wound up working down at the Park District. And from the Park District, the two of them kind of intertwined, so I was working with the Park District and Boys and Girls Club at the same time. And then I decided to pretty much open up the doors and started expanding with coming up with a name my own self, the Southside Positive Youth. And that was to give kids some other alternatives and options as opposed to just sitting around on the day-to-day not having anything to do, and that's also not being exposed to other things in life. And just to tell you a few things that I've done with them. Took them to Chicago, Buckingham Fountain, took them over to Lake Michigan and took them out on boat rides. We went to some place I never had been. We went to the State Fair in Springfield. We wound up going camping. And we went to a lot of the DeSabo Museum, the Black Ensemble Theater. So I was actually exposing them to a different lifestyle other than what they see every day on the South Side.
So actually, you want to let them know that the world didn't begin and end in Waukegan. There was other important things in the world besides Waukegan.
Yeah, you know, as you say that, to kind of back that up, when we went down to Lakeshore Drive,
okay,
and it went to a boat ride, that I was telling them we were in Lake Michigan. And I had to fight with them because they only thought Lake Michigan arrived down on the other end of in Waukegan, which they have seen. Okay. And they realized Lake Michigan expands from here to Mississippi, from here to Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So right. that was a testimony for me to recognize that, you know,
right.
that they only were able to see so far.
Yeah, from one stream in Minnesota to all the way down where it emptied into the Gulf of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. That is. Well, actually, you were athletic coach, basketball referee, and so that was your whole life then, right?
Right. I did T-ball for like about 20 years for the Park District.
Okay.
And I did Junior Bulldogs for about 15. These particular programs were ran by the Park District.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you a story, I mean, that some of the kids that I touched their lives come back to hunt me.
Oh.
I was coming out of McDonald's one day, and a police officer came up to me,
Mm-hmm.
and he touched me on the back, so right away I'm like, what did I do now? And then I found out, he said, you don't remember me? I said, no. He said, I was a little boy playing basketball for the Park District. You used to call me Tony Cool Coach.
Oh.
Yeah. So that, you know, it's little things like then we got one. Sometime I go to church to Mount Sinai, and it touches my heart because Mount Sinai's organ player is one of the little kids I had, and he's their organ player, which is Chanel Duffy.
Oh, yes. Okay. And now he plays for First Corinthians.
First Corinthians, that's
First
correct.
Corinthians,
Yeah.
So he was one of you. Well, now you were a role model Southside, but who were some of your role models on Southside?
Well, one of my role models, I feel that I say I not let his legacy just go to the wayside. One was Buck McClinton,
Okay.
and I watched Bob Evans do some of the things that he did in terms of helping the South Side out.
Okay.
I always thought he would be the next mayor,
Okay.
you know, because of the fact that when you're looking at some of the things that he's done. But I want to say that Patricia Jones.
Okay. Oh.
Patricia Jones remind me of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because of the fact she's tireless when it comes to doing things to help other people.
I wonder why she doesn't get the recognition that she really deserves, because she is an icon too on the South Side.
Well, sometimes people don't appreciate, you know, what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
And sometimes, and I think too, another thing, the biggest thing is that they don't get a chance, the opportunity to see what she does.
Okay.
And it was highlighted, and they could see it. Then they'd understand it, and then they'd probably can appreciate it more, because a lot of things that she does is not recognized as it's done because she does it,
Okay.
and it's not visible for people to recognize what she do.
She think out of the box quite a bit, and the people see the results, but what goes on behind the scenes, they have no idea.
Right, exactly. You're exactly right.
You have another, Dr. Woods, was it Dr. Woods down, King, Dr. King down there. He was an icon too, wasn't he?
Exactly. He was before my time.
Okay.
But I heard quite a bit about him, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he was before my time.
So
but
you're really maybe Jimmy Williams. He was the coach.
he was one
of
of the director of the YMCA.
Okay, sponsor of the boxer.
He was sponsor. He sponsored Renato Snipes.
Renato Snipes, yeah, whose picture was on a sticker, Waukegan sticker too.
Right, as well as I think he made the Times magazine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a couple others, Bradshaw and Range, I guess they were located on the south side too.
Yeah, Bradshaw Range actually was located across the street from the barbershop Whitehead's, which is still there.
Okay.
Out of all the businesses that was in that community, Whitehead still stands.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Okay.
But I just want to go back to what you said about Mrs. Jones.
Okay.
She thinks outside of the box.
Okay.
And that box is so big, and I've had an opportunity to sit there and watch it and watch her do some of the things that she do.
Okay.
She's very charismatic, like you was talking about earlier. A lot of people don't see it, but by me sitting on the township board, I got a chance to have watched some of the things that she does, and they're outstanding. I mean, when you start looking at some of the things that she does, it's, like you said, it's tireless, and it's ending.
And Mr. McBride, you've done other things helping the youth. You served on the Waukegan School Board, District 60, for 8 years. That's what, 2 terms, that's right. And you were in a position to make a difference there too.
That's correct. Well, just to give you some things that I did achieve, that Carmen School, which is located on McAllister and Hamos,
Yeah.
they never had a marquee like the rest of the schools, where you can put information up on, and got that done. We never had a school during my time. I went to McAllister. It's called Carmen School.
Okay.
We never had a African American school that named after African American.
Oh, okay.
So we did name Carmen School Carmen Buckner, which was named after Mrs. Carmen.
Okay.
And then we went to which is called East. The previous chief of police, I think, was Juarez.
Okay.
We named Juarez, we named the school Juarez because of the chief of police, all his accomplishments, which he was a chief as well as a school board member.
Okay. Right.
So those are some of the things that I was an advocate for, and also as well as alternative schools.
Okay.
We got quite a those accomplished because we recognized that we were putting kids out for an expulsion. So as a result of that, we wound up saying, we got to come up with a better idea than just putting them in on the street, because we knew that once they hit the streets, the other option was to, next thing you know, they would be in the appeal institution, the Department of Correction, because once again, when you don't have anything, they didn't have anything to do, they wind up getting in trouble.
Yes, they do the things that's going to cause them to be incarcerated. And once they become incarcerated and have a felony on their record, then I know Ms. Jones, Patricia Jones, also worked with recidivism too, you know. But it's very difficult because of their in and out of the prison to get them housing, to get them jobs and other things. And that's kind of sad that too, our government they pass the laws, and we have companies that will not hire you if you have a felony on your record. Even I know one young lady told me her son had worked as a supervisor for 12 years in a local company, and they finally checked his record and they terminated him, and he wanted to know why, and because he failed to check the box properly. And he checked that he had no felony, and they released him.
Well, that's quite common, Mr. Brooks, because we had to release several young men that's been there for 20-some years.
Okay.
For the school district. But once they did a background check and they found out he had a felony, we had to let him go because that was one of our policies. And we had to take heed to the policy. The policy said you got to. But
I wonder why the policy. Now I can understand if you want to get a job in a medical facility or something like that, but just a regular job where you're not a threat in that job, why would they make a policy to release the person?
Well, that's a long story. That's a long story. I mean, you can't even once you acquire a felony, you can't work for the fire department. You can't be a fireman. You know.
Okay.
Some jobs, maintenance jobs in the hospitals, you can't use a mop and bucket. So the question is, who set the stage for that to take place under them circumstances?
Okay.
And it's the people that make the laws that does that. Example, in Chicago right now. Not right. What the chief in over schools? What's his name?
Oh, and I don't know his name.
You know what I'm speaking about?
Over the school system.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know his.
Obama helped him get in. Anyway, he just got done passing a policy that if you get caught with an X amount of marijuana, you pay.
Wait. Yeah, I wish I could think of he used to work with the Obama administration and he made him the head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, he just passed a law that.
I should know it. Okay, good.
Yeah, we both should know it, as much as we've been looking at him. Anyway, he passed a law that if you get caught with an X amount of marijuana,
okay,
you pay a fine, or it becomes a misdemeanor. It's no longer where you have to go to court now and drag the police in. And,
okay.
So those are kind of laws that they make that you and I are speaking about, which I think is one sense. I mean, it's not don't solve the problem, but it solves the problem in so many other areas because you can get tied up in court with little things like that, you know, or as well as you don't have their money. I think what it is, the attorney's probably hurting them because a little something of that nature, you have to give an attorney $4,000 or $5,000 for it. Now you just pay I think $1,500, and then you. So
our families will have to do a better job with their children, and also schools to have to impress upon the students how important it is to stay in school and concentrate on careers. You know, you're an advocate for youth. And it's because you have a love of youth, you know, and you do this without any grants at all, right? You don't get any grants for doing.
Well, I've had
servicing the kids.
I've had a few people support me from a grassroots standpoint. I mean, it wasn't enough to get a whole lot of things accomplished.
Okay.
But I was able to use my my charisma to get things done.
Okay.
You know, it's whereas though if you were out on an outing, a camp outing, and we needed pop, I can go and ask for pop. You know?
Okay.
Little things of that nature, you know.
Okay.
You know, if we needed some baseballs or basketballs, I could go to a Grand Sport Good. He'd give me 3 or 4 balls. But as far as grants and whatnot, I haven't received any grants, you know, something that I could really, but I've actually, the little things that I have, I made a difference with those. You know, I say a little bit goes a long ways.
Right. Yeah. It seems like the community would come to your support, knowing how important it is for youth, you know, to keep them active and out of the streets, because we know what the alternative is, because it costs about maybe $50,000-$60,000 to house a youth that's incarcerated, and maybe on the federal level it's about maybe $90,000 to $100,000 a year to house a federal person that's incarcerated. But here, doing what you're doing, it wouldn't cost near that much if they could support you. But I guess you're retired now then, right?
That's correct.
And you've made your mark, and I guess maybe a statue would be placed about you on the south side there with all the work that you've done,
well,
so that you would be remembered. Because I remember that, I mentioned that because you mentioned about McClinton, you know, you mentioned about Dr.
Williams.
Dr. Williams. Now Williams did a great job there on the south side there too, but the youngsters there never heard of him now. You know?
Right.
But when hopefully that, well, speaking of that though, I was reading in People's Voice that there was a special recognition given for you, and it was on the front page for Sandra Atwater and Mr. Terry Atwater, your pastor of the North Shore Church of Christ that you attended there, was with you, a great support of yours. That must have been a great recognition ceremony for you then, right? Made you feel like someone's recognizing you, they're thinking about you.
I feel very special. I mean, whenever you have a little over 400 people come out and salute
Wow.
you, that shows a great deal of gratitude from those that's you know, coming out to show their appreciation. You know, and I was also given you know, from North Chicago a resolution.
Okay.
Waukegan Alderman a resolution.
Okay.
Lake County Board came out and did a resolution. School District came out and done a resolution.
And the Lake County Board made that Jeff McBride Day in Lake County.
Right, right. So
that's really
that was all appreciated. I really I mean, it was, but you know what? I'm not an accolade kind of guy. I say that not to want to be modest, but I'm not an accolade kind of guy. You know, because I feel that if you're on this earth and you're doing what you're supposed to do,
okay,
that's what you should be doing, is helping somebody else, lift somebody up that's less fortunate than yourself. And then as a result of that, your blessings, that's how you get your blessings. When you give, you do receive.
So if I can help somebody along the way, then my living will not be in vain.
That's correct.
Right.
And you know, I'm at a point to where, as though in life, still a young man, but still, I understand that one day, that old ship of Zion is coming my way. And when it do come, I'll be ready. I can always say, job well done.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you want the master to be able to say that, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, you've really made your mark on the South Side, and it's great that over 400 people came out to.
Yes, sir. I was, Mr. Brooks, I couldn't believe it.
And that was May 25th, so that was right around Memorial Day. That and people usually go on trips during the holiday, but you had that many.
And I want you to know it took a team of people to put that together.
Okay.
It was people like Essie Woods, Dr. Woods' wife.
Oh, okay.
It was people like Marcella Hardy.
Okay.
It was people like Janice Kendall, who owns a beauty shop.
Okay.
It was people like Patricia Jones.
Patricia Jones still the.
Yeah, she was all in the middle of it.
Right.
You know, so it was just just countless. There had to be like 18 of them. They sit out and fried chicken and created placemats and put flowers on the table.
Wow. Now, where was the function held at?
At the Park Center, Park Place.
Okay.
Where the seniors be,
yeah, right. Oh, man, that's fantastic. Well, you've done quite a bit of work. You worked at the Public Works Department of the City of Waukegan for 25 years.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's half of your life then, right?
I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, I worked there as a supervisor.
Oh, a supervisor. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess somebody recognized my ability to be able to communicate with people.
Okay.
And I never was a hostile person, you know. I was always very mild-mannered.
Okay.
Even when I was on the school board, things that I didn't too much care for, but I was able to say, well, just relax. It'll take care of itself in due time. And it did. An example, the there were the metal detectors.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people complain about having medical detectors there, but as a result, they wind up putting them in there because of the fact things start to occurring with young guys bringing pistols to school and whatnot. I say, well, this is what I was talking about. I was trying to be ahead of the game on this here. You know, prevention is the best policy.
Because you knew that would be happening from the
Exactly. Well, I just knew looking at the behavior of the kids. You know, you can see it coming. You know, I was way ahead because of the fact that I didn't want them to wear hoodies.
Okay.
You know, I said we need to get rid of this because we found out that the hoodies, that whenever there was always a gang fight, you never could make out who it was because they had the hoodies on.
So you were way
and
ahead
this was way before what took place with this young man. I don't know what.
Martin.
Yeah, it was way before that. Yeah, I seen that. You know.
Trevon, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Now, tell us about how active you were in the church. The North Shore Church of Christ is your home church there. But tell us about your activity there.
Well, I'm the director of the benevolence program. And the benevolence program is what we feed every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was an advocate for the substance abuse NAA meetings.
Okay.
And I pretty much drove the vans, picking up seniors, making sure they got to church.
Mm-hmm. That was a real heavy responsibility there too, yeah.
But it was again, like I say, it was something that made me feel good.
Okay.
So if I can help you, that makes me feel good. You know, it's better than money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mention this all the time. I have never seen a Brinks truck behind a hearse yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so many people trying to accumulate, think they're gonna take it with them.
Yeah.
But
it ain't it ain't that kind of party.
Exactly. Well, you know, Southside Positive Youth. Chelsea, what's the how did you come up with that name, Southside Positive Youth?
Well, the kids on the South Side always was always advocated being negative.
Okay.
So I wanted them to have a mindset that they're positive.
Okay.
And they from the South Side. So that's one reason how it got started.
Why would they have such a negative outlook on the South Side?
Well, one reason is when you look at the area was kind of poverty stricken.
Okay.
You didn't have a whole lot of the school was kind of run down. You didn't have areas like for the kids, like some of the parks, like most of the park district has throughout the area. They didn't have no parks or no playgrounds or none of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, they got an aquatics park over there, sort of like the one over on Sheridan Road. I'll give you an example. They never had they had a washroom. They tore it down.
Okay.
And they tore it down because the guys were shooting dice out in front of it.
Mm.
So they figured that the washroom was a sort of shadow to keep the police from being able to see the guys that were shooting dice. So they tore the washroom down. And my mind said, don't tear the washroom down. The problem is not the washroom. The problem is the people that's in front of the washroom shooting dice.
Okay.
Deal with that.
Okay.
So they tore it down. So once they put the aquatics up, they still never had a washroom. and they had a basketball court out there, and parents and stuff used to come out. And this just happened recently.
Okay.
The director over the Park District, I grabbed Patricia Jones, Robert Evans, myself, and also the first ward alderman, and I grabbed the Park District director and said, "We gonna put a washroom up.
Okay.
These kids shouldn't have to go behind a tree and around the building. They need to have a washroom like the rest of the parks." So we finally got a washroom put up, and to me that was an accomplishment. You know, and I did it in a way, knowing what's going on within the city of Waukegan. Every park has a washroom.
Okay.
So I'm saying that this park belongs to the park district. Why is no washroom here? And then you're gonna build a aquatic center. That means where kids come out and play in the water and whatnot. I said, but parents stay way down on 10th Street, and we way down on close to Belvedere. Would you expect them to walk home and then come back?
Okay.
You know, so they put the washroom up, nice washroom.
So that goes again that Jeffery McBride was thinking out of the box. You know, I'm wondering. You mentioned about the schools were lax too about making things available to the schools on the kids on the south side. But why is one district, one school district, but why would they spend most of the effort on the west side of town and not the east side of town?
Well, you never
the same
had,
district.
You never, Mr. Brooks, you never had anybody stand up for the kids on the south side. It seemed like everybody, I hate to use the word dysfunctional, it seemed like everybody was dysfunctional when it came to principles such as, you know.
Okay.
And so therefore, if you don't have nobody go and advocate for you, those that you go advocate to, they don't care, so they'll just continue and take the dollars and use them for themselves to create programs, so to speak. And that's been my vision to see, to recognize what I've seen when it comes to answering your question.
Same thing about the Waukegan Township and Shields Township. Now, Waukegan Township has an area from the north side of 18th Street in North Chicago back north, and Shields Township is on the south side of 18th Street in North Chicago back south. But it appears that the Waukegan Township have outstanding programs, but the Shields Township do not have the programs for its constituents, especially, say, in North Chicago. Why is...
Well, you know, I'm going to take a stab at this. You got people like Miss Jones.
Okay.
On the...
Thinking out of the box again.
Yeah, well, on one side where the township separates, then on the other side of the township, you don't have a lot of... individuals that's in leadership to make things happen.
Okay.
You know, under no circumstances in leadership. You know, no offices or
yeah.
You know, so that becomes a problem. That's no longer township trustee, but there's other people in the background in offices that can help make a difference. But if you're not thinking to make a difference in that particular area, it's not going to happen.
So this is back to the leadership again. And there's not enough, and this can become political too. There's not enough voting power in the Shields Township and North Chicago too. I think there's one township trustee from North Chicago.
At Shields.
At Shields, but it's only one one representative, you know, but the rest of them are from the east.
But you can't blame it on the township. You got to blame it on the people.
Okay.
Because again, once again, when you make noise, you get things done.
Okay.
You know, and you don't see enough people.
Squeaky wheel get the grease.
Yeah, you don't see enough people from that area going down and saying, well, we want this and we want that, and being able to back it up by recognizing these are tax dollars. These tax dollars are being used for this over here, but why aren't they not being used over here the same way?
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking at the celebration at May 25th, you had an 84-year-old female that sang "Give Me My Flowers." Lillian Carpenter, she's a member of the First Corinthian, Baptist Church in North Chicago. Now that must have been really hard taken from you to hear saying "Give Me." You're finally receiving your flowers.
It was. I thought there was
monetary value here, but it's something about flowers, that.
Well, and then not only that, like you said, she was 84.
84 years old.
And she put me in the frame of mind of Albertina Walker and Mahalia Jackson. And those were women that made anybody feel pretty good when they sang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've retired now, but what's new on the horizon for Jeffery McBride? You still feel that?
Well, Mr. Brooks, I get calls all the time. I want you to do this. I want you to do that.
Okay.
Can you come sit in this meeting? Can you come sit in that meeting? And I move when I can.
Okay.
Right now, Father Time is moving toward my direction, so it's time for me to sit down somewhere. Because I can say job well done, as I said before. But I still believe, I still say to myself, ain't no rest. It's all you just got to continue to keep going.
What I didn't mention, another South Side icon, Mrs. Thomas. I forgot her first name, but she, I guess, organized Happy Day Nursery. And you remember her? She was.
I don't remember her. I remember Happy Day Nursery.
Happy Day Nursery. She was head of it, and she, I guess they built a new one, new Happy Day Nursery, which the North Shore Church of Christ, I guess they bought. You bought that on McAllister Street.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct.
That was started by Thomas. I wish I could think of her name, but she's an icon down there on the South Side. You've had many icons down there. And I don't believe that she was recognized the way she should, because she handled, she was our contemporary, and when we started out, Daisy's Resource, Tyson Tyler Daycare Center, I should say, we built a facility for 100 children. About the same time, she was building the one in Waukegan. And she would come on to Daisy and support her, have training sessions for her teachers. So, in other words, she didn't conceive Daisy as a competitor. She worked with her to try to help her along because, Daisy was just starting. And I thought that was fantastic,
Do you remember when I was on the school board, we rented your building for alternative school? Do you remember that? You were across from.
You rented gym?
No. You had a building there that we utilized for alternative school for our alternative kids.
That's before we even thought about alternative. We have alternative school now, but that was before. We had the residential center for girls, and we had the building empty there But I don't remember that specifically there. How long did you rent that for? A year? What?
About a year. Then there was a lot of complications with some of the students that was there a lot of police traffic. They kept coming, kept coming.
Vaguely, I remember. I think the students were from Waukegan, right? And I think there was some problem about funding,
Right.
whether they could come from, you would fund them from Waukegan to North Chicago.
But you had an outside group, I think, from like St. Louis or somewhere that was running the program.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Yeah.
But see what happened when you get up in age like I am. There are three things that leave you, and the first thing is the memory, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember the other two, but you're exactly right. Distinctly I remember. Yeah, right.
'Cause we had been looking around for a site, and I said, well, I couldn't find a better site than the one right there located on a...
Convenient and so forth. Yeah, right. Well, this is your basketball facility was located. Was that on McAllister? What?
That was Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
The building there.
A lot of the things we did was at Bedrosian Park.
Okay, okay.
Outside, every year I had a program there. And also, too, right there on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive with the projects that we would take all the cars out and open it up. But, you know, we also, too, the thing is that we had the fire department come down. You know, where the kids would be on the trucks and whatnot. Again, like you said, different exposure for them to get a chance to enjoy themselves.
Okay.
One program I forgot to mention that was connected with the police department. And the name of it was We Pedal Bikes, Not Drugs.
Ah, very good.
And we had about 10 police officers working with us, with the kids. We go on bike rides, and we would stop and do various different things. And while we were doing these things, we were also talking to them about other alternatives rather than using drugs.
Now, did you have a staff, or were you doing this alone?
Actually, what I did was I would stop and ask people more or less.
Okay.
What are you doing today? Can you help me here? Can you help me there? So I was actually grabbing people as I went. So I didn't really have a staff. I did have one person that was working with me his name was Danny Lynch, and as well as Marcella Harden. Marcella Harden worked with me quite a bit. And Danny Lynch wound up writing a book dealing with kids. And we wound up coming on, I think we were on your show once before.
I think I did. True.
Yeah, well, I had some of the guys off the South Side come and talk about some of the things that they were going through and whatnot. But yeah,
because my show is open all the time for icons like yourself and people that are doing things in the community.
But you were located in Zion, I think, at that time.
Yeah, I started. That was was about. Oh my goodness, 18 years ago, I guess.
Well, that lets you know that's 18 years of service on my part.
Right. In Zion, the facility closed down, and then they moved to Waukegan. Another icon, excuse me, on South Side was Mayor Robert Sabanjan. Tell us about him. He was icon also down.
Well, I was a young guy, but I still, you know, when people are doing things, you don't forget them. You see, they're visible, and you can talk about them.
Okay.
He was one of the guys that used to come through the community every year. My parents would look for him for turkeys. During Christmas time, they would be looking for him for a Christmas basket.
Okay.
And every year he never failed. He was always there. He was passing them out his own self.
Wow.
And he was one of the guys, he could get on the phone and say, call Abbott.
Okay.
Or call Johnson Motors or Mansville. Got a guy down here, I'm gonna send him down there. You didn't have to worry about filling out no application, and you had the job. He was one of them guys that get on the phone and call.
Wow.
and he was able to do. There wasn't a company around here that, you know, Anchor Hoppins and whatever.
Okay.
There wasn't a company around in Waukegan that he could not call and tell them to hire you, and you didn't get hired. He had that kind of political pull.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I don't know. I don't think his son got that type of pull now.
Well,
It's just certain people, I guess, just got a innate ability, a God-given, you know, ability to deal with people and know how to talk to people and, you know, to get things done. And he is one of the ones that could do it. Well, we go back to our icon again, Patricia Jones. She's probably one of the ones too. She gets so much done. You know, you think that.
Well, you know, again, like we said, I mean, we both got to acknowledge that she don't get the recognition that she deserves.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't mind giving it to her because she deserves it, like you said, you know. And she's been on this show a couple of times.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have.
Well, again, like I said, I've sat with her for 4 years,
Okay,
and it's tireless with some of the things that she do.
okay.
And if I let her, she, as much as I would, if I let her, she'll work me to death.
Well, you know, we speak of, no, we talked about you're working with different people, but you work with Robert, this Reverend now, Robert B. Evans Sr. Tell us about him. He did a lot of things in the community too, on the South Side, along with Mayor Robert Sabaji.
When we talk about being able to get things done, and he was sort of like Sabaji. Sabaji knew who the players was. He knew he knew the people that he, believe it or not, he created his own police department right there on the South Side.
Wow.
He hired guys off the South Side that he knew that were so-called troublemakers, and gave them jobs to deal with those that was coming up that was troublemakers.
They didn't have felonies, I guess, so huh? They just
at the time it didn't make no difference. Somebody didn't want no trouble, and he gave them all walkie-talkies and whatnot, you know, and they had a little substation, and he was very he was very good at what he done.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Now you're single now with 3 children, but I assume your children are grown then, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Are they still in the area?
Yeah, they still here.
Oh.
And I'm still married. You could just correct that now. You don't know why.
Oh, well, maybe I read that wrong in the paper here. You know, I'm sorry about
That's
that.
a misprint.
Okay, I got this right on the paper, so you're still married. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you corrected that, you know. So your children, are they, you say they're still in the area and they independent then, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Except for my one son, he's 16. He's still in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. But did you tell us what's new on the horizon for what you're retired now and you can't, what I used to call it, get involved like you used to, but I know you just can't sit still. Like I've been retired for 21 years, but I can't sit still.
Well, you know, again, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
I have some ideas. I'm looking at being once again, advocate for young people, where I'd be able to sit down and do some counseling.
That's very important.
You know, because right now, you just need somebody to sit down and talk to them with all the problems that the parents and stuff is having. Sometimes when they can't get through, you got a guy that's been around for a while that understand them, can talk to them, and maybe.
And it's probably a great percentage of young men without a father in the home.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of fulfill that gap, right?
Exactly.
It's very important to have we talk about this quite a bit, but it's very important to have the male in that home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I say a father in the home. Not a daddy, but a father in that home.
Well, as you speak of that, that's true, because they had one program at the Boys and Girls Club I started. It was called Passport to Manhood.
Ah,
And basically what I did was teach them how to become men.
okay.
And one of the first thing I did was taught them a little etiquette, how to respect women.
Okay.
And also I learned them how to. Matter of fact, who worked with me was Jerry Reinstorm of the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
He worked with me with that program.
Ah.
And we ran the program for like 6 weeks. One of the things I can say that I accomplished, I taught them how to get in front of the mic, like you and I are doing,
Okay.
and be able to speak and speak with poise.
Okay.
And one of the other things I taught them was, which most men don't know how to do, and that's tie a tie.
Okay.
Most men do not tie, whether you
But
recognize
you
it
think
or not.
they don't wear a tie? It comes already. You buy one
I taught
already
them how to tie one. I took them to the Salvation Army and made each
But why
one
is
of them.
that? Why don't they know how to tie a tie?
You know what I just said? Most old men
Can't tie a tie.
can't tie a tie. I knew a lot of guys that came to me and said, "Could you tie this for me?"
Amazing.
So I took them to, challenge that sometime.
Yeah, but what I mean, excuse me, is there a reason for this? Is that they just don't wear ties?
They don't wear ties.
Okay.
That's a good one. They don't wear ties, and so therefore, when you're not used to doing something,
Okay.
when it comes to doing it, you have no idea. And so what I did was took them to the Salvation Army, and they bought a tie for like 50 cents.
Okay.
And they picked up a nice shirt, and I taught them how to iron it.
Okay.
So, they learned how to iron a shirt, tie the tie, and then we talked to them. I put them in front of a mic, and I let them speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Very important.
and then they graduated. We taught them how to cook. He'll give you an idea that they didn't know, some things they didn't know. I'm teaching one how to do biscuits, and got another one over here, fried bacon.
Okay.
The guy that I was trying to do show how to cook grits. He got ahead of me, so he put the grits in cold water. So he already know what happened with that one. He didn't get a chance to boil.
Oh my goodness,
But I enjoyed all of that, and those are stories that I always remember. Yeah.
We've been talking about boys, but you mentioned about your dealings with the Boys and Girls Club. So how important it is to work with girls also?
It's very important to work with girls, but that's out of my realm.
The girls portion.
Right. I think that women need to be working with women, and young men used to be working with men, because there are some things that young ladies need to know. I can't tell them.
Okay.
And I wouldn't even begin to guess. And it takes a lady to be able to teach a lady on how to be a lady.
Well, what about the programs at the Boys and Girls Club? Now, what type of programs they have down there? And I assume this is around the South Side, right? And that, as a matter of fact, is where the Genesee Branch YMCA.
Right. But it ain't always been there. It started off, I don't know if you know the brewery factory on Belvedere where they used to have the Budweiser at.
Okay.
Yeah. It started off there, so it was like an old barn. And I'll tell you who was the director, Father Gary.
Oh, okay.
He was the director. He come in, Ed Shoemaker made him the director. And Ed networked with Greg Petrie.
Okay.
And you start using the facility on the South Side. So that's how they got down there.
Well, Father Greg, Gary been around here a long time. Then I guess they named the facility after him on 8th Street there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he's gone now. He's in Chicago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a great loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we've covered a lot of territory here. You're an icon yourself, and you're not selfish. You mentioned several other icons. Dr. Eugene King, and Dudley Thomas.
That's the name you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the name. I knew it's going to come to me. You know, when you get up in age, it's lies. Always lies back there.
And it goes back to me, Ron Emanuel.
Right, that's okay. How about that? So we both are. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
Emanuel.
Yeah. In Chicago, the mayor of Chicago. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bradshaw and Range Funeral Home, of course, but Mrs. Thomas, I still can't, wish I could think of that, but I think the listening audience probably know who I'm talking about, that she's an icon down, the Happy Day Nursery, you know, and of course, Mary
Lockhart.
Oh, can't forget Mary Lockhart White, too. Yeah, right. Okay, we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with an icon. As you've heard, Jeffery McBride, founder of the Southside Positive Youth. He's a current trustee of the Waukegan Township. He's previously a member of the Waukegan School Board District Number 60. Matter of fact, he was there for 8 years. And we've been reflecting on his advocacy for youth in the city of Waukegan. Thank you very much for taking time for listening to another awareness session on Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.